Look, I don't hate all Hufflepuffs. I just hate this Hufflepuff very strongly. What is up, people? Welcome back to another episode of Stars and Garters. I'm Katie Pettit, and I have done plenty of episodes on the game Fire Emblem Three Houses, which makes sense. It's my second favorite video game of all time to this day. However, I don't think I have done any episodes singularly focused on my favorite game of all time, which is crazy. And I don't know if it was just I don't know. I don't know why. I don't have a good reason for you. But I am rectifying that today because my favorite game of all time currently is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I am in the middle of playing through Rebirth, but I haven't finished it yet, so I don't want to put it on the list. It doesn't feel right. But Remake definitely still stands as my favorite game of all time. And you know what's a really easy way to, talk about to bring up a topic, and have something about it to talk about. It's sorting the characters. That's just always an option. If you're a Harry Potter nerd, you have a really easy a thing that can be talked about across all fandoms, and that is sorting the characters. So that's what we're gonna do today. I guess I'll say like we're sorting the characters from remake, not necessarily rebirth, but we're pretty much just like sorting across. We're sorting characters from like Final Fantasy VII Remake in general because there are already like multiple games that kind of fall under that category, not just the two main ones. There's others. I've been playing the most recent game that I've been focusing on, I guess, is Final Fantasy VII Remake Crisis Core Reunion or Rebirth. No, Rebirth is the second main game. It's Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. So, and that is a whole other different game. But yeah, it's just like characters from Final Fantasy Remake in general. And I won't be sorting all the people that are right here because I don't care about some of them. Simply put. But yeah, so I will be sorting the ones that I care about. And yeah. So let's get into it. We'll save Cloud for last because he's important, and he also happens to be the bottom, so we'll save him for last. So instead of starting with Cloud, let's start with his supporting cast of characters. Let's start with his girl Tifa. Yes, that is his girl. Aerith is not in that position. There's no ship wars. It doesn't make sense anyway. But so yeah, we'll start out with Tifa. I think Tifa is pretty clear to me. I am pretty sure that this girl is a Hufflepuff. Like, I know she's like literally like in the Final Fantasy world where you're fighting like fantasy monsters and giant sea snakes and giant mechs and robots and all this crazy stuff. She just punches stuff, which may not seem like a very Hufflepuff thing to do, but like in the story, it's pretty clear. She's like, I mean, she's just very emotional. She's an emotional girl. She cries a lot. She's sad a lot. She feels all the things, and she does not feel the need to hide it at all. Some would say she is too open and maybe a little too sensitive. But it's also the kind of Hufflepuff where it's like, because Hufflepuffs are very loyal. Their friends are very important to them, and she's like the kind of Hufflepuff that would like kick your butt if you mess with her friends. So yeah, she's a cool Hufflepuff. I've had varying opinions on Tifa at different times, but I think she is a cool Hufflepuff. But she does seem to. She's just a little bit over emotional, dare I say. But that's just the way she is, and I think that's very Hufflepuff thing. She's also really nice and good with people, which is also a Hufflepuff typical trait, I think. Okay, moving on to the other female in the main group who I don't know if I've ever talked about Aerith too much on this podcast. I hate her. I hate her so much. If I had a bottom 10 video game characters, I know I did my top 10, but if I had a bottom 10, I think she'd be up there because I just hate her so much. She's boring and she annoys me and she's just so and I apologize, I don't know what that noise was. But yeah, so Aerith is the kind of Hufflepuff that I do not like. She's just flower power and follow your heart, Cloud, and just she's way too nice. She's way too happy. She's way too trusting, and she's like, oh, there's good in everybody, and just bleh, 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 shut up. She's, that's not what I think of all Hufflepuffs. I admire a lot of Hufflepuffs. I think Hufflepuffs are great. She's just the example of a Hufflepuff that I just really do not like at all and think is dumb and bad. So, yeah, I hate Aerith. Just so much. Established. So since we're talking about Remake, the Avalanche trio is pretty prominent in that game specifically. They went through some stuff, so they're not too prominent in Rebirth as far as I played. But let's talk about the Avalanche trio a little bit. Let's talk about Jessie, first of all. Flip side, I love Jessie. I think Jessie's great. I wish she had more time in this game. I know she had a lot more time than she did in the original, but still, I thought she was great, and that's probably because I also think that Jessie is a Ravenclaw, which is my house. Is there some bias? There's always bias, okay? There's when I'm putting people into Ravenclaw, there's just not a lot of straight Ravenclaw characters, I feel like, in things as much as the other houses. And if they are, it's usually just like the nerdiest nerd of nerds, and which is annoying. I feel like there aren't many like complex, important Ravenclaw characters in things. So when I see a character that I really like, I tend to want to put them in Ravenclaw. But I can make a very good case for Jessie. So like she's clearly very intelligent. First of all, she's like a bomb expert. She makes the bombs. Making bombs is hard, I assume. I have no experience in that area, but I assume it's not like just there's a bomb. I think you have to know some things. And she speaks intelligently. She's clearly a very smart girl. But she's also very eccentric, is what we'll call it. She has her own unique personality. And she's completely fine with that, which is a very Ravenclaw thing. It's kind of like in Think Luna Lovegood. She's not like crazy and says crazy things like that, but she's just very, moves to the beat of road drum kind of gal, which I associate with Ravenclaw, which is a Ravenclaw thing. I think that's not just like, I don't think that's a me thing. I think that is a very Ravenclaw thing. She's witty, she's funny, she likes to joke around. She has a great sense of humor. She's creative. I mean, she acts. She's kind of an actress, and also I imagine it takes some sort of creativity to make bombs. So. There's that again. And she does seem to overthink things as well, which is a Ravenclaw thing. She goes round and round with herself about making, in like that very first part where she makes bombs and the explosion's too big and she causes more damage, she goes over and over that again and again in her head, which is a very Ravenclaw thing, I think, to do. So even though she was not, even though she definitely could have had some more time, from what we saw of her, I think I could pretty solidly put her in Ravenclaw. But yeah, also I just want her in my house, so deal with it. Alright, next in the Avalanche trio, let's talk about Biggs. Biggs is a little bit harder to sort. I don't have a good explanation as to why. I don't know. His personalities, I don't know. It's just different. It's just a little bit harder to sort for no good reason. But I think that Biggs is a Gryffindor. I mean, he is kind of like, he does seem to, in a way, be like the leader of the trio. which is, I mean, that could go Slytherin or Gryffindor, but he seems to be in a Gryffindor way. He's very outspoken, and he's obviously like, he's he's labeled as a terrorist, because he's obviously like not afraid to, you know, speak up for what he believes in. That I feel like that could be taken wrongly. They're not terrorists. The the government is evil. And they don't, they're trying to bring it down, so they're labeled as terrorists. They're not terrorists. Terrorists bad. He good. But I'm just saying, like, he's obviously not afraid to stand up for what he believes in, you know? And he also, like, you know, he also happens to blow things up for what he believes in, which that's a very Gryffindor approach to that sort of thing. You know, maybe that's not how like a Slytherin would go about it, because I think he could lean Slytherin, but he's kind of, you know, explode stuff, shoot stuff, kind of leader. And so I think he's a Gryffindor. Seems like a Gryffindor to me. And then rounding out the trio, the easiest to sort out of the three for sure, is our good boy, our good boy, Wedge. Yeah. So, well, come here. First of all, Wedge is a Hufflepuff. He is just the human embodiment of a cinnamon roll. He likes cats and he eats food. I don't like. He's a great character. I'm not even trying to call him like basic or anything. He's just a sweet boy who loves food and it's just a sweet man. So yeah, he's a buff. Our boy's a puff. Yeah, no further explanation needed. Also, an important character in Claude's little group. Let's talk about Barrett. I I think Barrett is pretty easy. I think he's decently easy. I'm pretty well. Nobody wants to go up on the board today. I think Barrett is a Gryffindor. I he like he's not. His thing is he just kind of wants to run into things guns ablazing or arm ablazing into situations much rather than he would try to figure out any other solution. He's, you know, shoot first, ask questions later. He's kind of like a loudmouth. He's a loud person, which I've said I think is a good indicator of Gryffindor. He's very okay with saying whatever is on his mind. He has no filter whatsoever. He gets annoyed very easily, and he uh, he experiences he's passionate. So you know, it's like Hufflepuffs and Gryffindors both experience emotions very uh, powerfully, but Hufflepuffs kind of it comes out more in it comes out more in like a soft way, and I feel like Gryffindors express it more like aggressively, and he definitely expresses everything aggressively. He's just an aggressive guy, so I think he's pretty solidly a Gryffindor. Okay, let's talk a little bit about someone who was not actually in Remake at all. Um, she was on my top 10 characters actually, and I didn't know too much about her when I put her on the list. I was just kind of like going like hard off of a vibe, just like I was like I really like this girl's vibe. Don't know barely anything about her, but I think her vibe is just great. And now that she has appeared in Rebirth as I'm playing, I was confirmed. I love her. Yuffie. I love Yuffie. She's everything that I assumed her to be from what I had seen. And she is a Gryffindor for sure. She's just I don't like this word, but I have yet to find out a better replacement for it. But she's very spunky. She's like upbeat and she's like excitable. You know, she has like kind of kiddish energy about her. And she's like, you know, in that way. Even if she like doesn't entire like even if she's good at what she does, but even if she's not like really the best at it. She tries really, really hard to be good at what she does. And she's just very, extroverted, like, wants to talk to everybody, will, like, get up in your face without even knowing you, um, just says whatever's on her mind, does not worry about, like, what people are going to think about what she says. So yeah, I think she's a Gryffindor. Pretty obviously. All right. Also, a teeny tiny bit in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Not been too much in Rebirth as far as I've played. I know he's gonna be in Rebirth a lot more, I assume. But the main character of excuse me, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Remake Reunion. I don't even think I said that right. But let's talk about Zach, my boy Zachary. I don't know why, but if a character in a game, if their name, if like all anyone ever calls it, like you don't even know what their full name is, but if their name is like, it could possibly be a nickname for something else, I will call them by the full name. So I only refer to him as Zachary. I I never call him Zach. So let's talk about our boy Zachary here. So Zach, he is a lot, or he's okay. So first of all, is he our first? Really? That's hilarious. He's gonna start a bit of a trend here because I think Zach is a Slytherin. Um, so from what I've seen in Crisis Core, I didn't know too much about him from Remake and Rebirth, but I've I think I'm almost done with Crisis Core, and he's the main character of that. He's very like he's kind of cocky. I don't know if cocky's the right word for it, but he's very like he's just pretty sure of himself. He's I mean he is skilled, so it's like he's sure of himself for a good reason, which I think is a very Slytherin thing. He he's clearly ambitious. I mean, like all of the soldier characters, everybody in soldier kind of has this like ambition, like honestly Slytherin vibe around them, because they're all trying to climb the ranks, all trying to be like Sephiroth, the greatest soldier of all time. But he also has like this. I'm sure I've talked about it in my other sorting episodes, probably on my Fire Emblem Three Houses sorting episode. Um, but he has like the Slytherin Rizz kind of thing going on because I just associate having a lot of Rizz with being in Slytherin. Like if you're a flirt, the first thing I think about you is Slytherin. Like that's my first thought is that you're a Slytherin. Uh, I think Slytherins are very charismatic, and so I think that's where it comes from. Like if they're like a good if they like are good at it and are not just like kind of a hopeless like simp. If they're a simp, that's different. Like let me explain to you if you don't understand, if you're not hip with the lingo today. Simps are not Slytherin. I do not associate simping with being Slytherin, but Rizz is Slytherin. If you're like actually kind of like, if it's something that's like you could actually get into, I associate that with Slytherin. If you're just trying and failing, but you still are like trying to flirt with everybody, that's not Slytherin. But if you're like good at it, then that's Slytherin. So, and Zach, he has, he's pretty good at it. He's young, so he's kind of quirky, and he's not perfect at it. Like he's not just like, he's a little awkward, he's a little quirky about it, but he's still really good at it, and he's just very charismatic and good with people, in a Slytherin way. So yeah, I think our boy is a Slytherin. Next, let's talk about some villains for a second, for just two, because they're the only ones I care about. First, let's talk about Reno. I love Reno. I think he's great. I wish he had more time again. I hope to see plenty of him throughout Rebirth as I go about it, because I just think he's wonderful. And again, I think Reno is a Slytherin. It's in a very similar way to Zach, actually. Most ways similar, except Reno did go kind of full, like, knowingly. I mean, it's complicated, with Soldier because both Cloud and Zack were in Soldier, but they're good guys. And the whole, being associated with Shinra and everything, that's just complicated. But Reno, I'm pretty sure he's like knowingly a bad guy. I'm pretty sure he knows most about what's going on, and he's okay with it. Which we don't like the Slytherins are bad stereotype, but I'm just saying there are a lot of Slytherin villains, and it's very easy to make a villain's motivation be very, it's just easy for a villain to be Slytherin, and I think Reno is one of those. Just again, the Rizz. I don't think he really tries to Rizz everyone up. I am just, how do I put this? He was on my Hear Me Out episode. Let me just say that. So there's that. Also, he's like kind of a jerk, but I like the way that he's a jerk. He like tries to antagonize everyone, and he's really good at it, which I think is a Slytherin thing. Hufflepuffs, Hufflepuffs would never try to antagonize anyone. Ravenclaws don't care enough to try to antagonize anyone. Gryffindor might, but they would be bad at it because it would probably just be like yelling and random insults. Slytherins are great at ticking people off. And like, I'm not even saying that like, they're so bad. Like, I'm not saying, well, I mean, it's not a good thing. I mean, I'm not putting into a good trait or bad trait category, but they're really good at antagonizing people, and Reno he tries to do that with pretty much anyone. And he doesn't seem to, I mean, he just seems to do things by his own motivations. He seems to have his own goals for things, and he doesn't seem to be too interested in other people. I mean, he has some sort of friendship with Rude, but he seems to be pretty motivated by his own goals, whatever those may be, and he's morally loose, and I think to accomplish whatever he's trying to do, he's okay with that. Which is like, that's a Slytherin thing. They all have their ways. All of the houses have their ways that they could go villain, and I think Slytherin just has the easiest way. It's not that they're bad; they just are. What I'm trying to say. I love Slytherins. I have nothing against Slytherins. I love them. All right, and our other villain, the indisputably more important villain that we will be talking about, is Sephiroth. And I do think, again, Sephiroth's just a straight Slytherin villain. I still slightly unclear about what's going on with him, even though a lot of stuff was explained at the beginning of Remake. It's a lot to take in. I know that he has mommy issues, and that's a big part of why he's a bad guy, like really complicated mommy issues. But he just, he's kind of just this classic big bad. He shows up, he smiles evilly all the time. He has his own plans for world domination, for his own motives, and he thinks he's going the right way, and he's gonna do whatever he needs to do to get what he wants. And like yeah. I mean, I think it's just pretty straight Slytherin, not too complicated about it. Just, he's been wronged, and he is going to make it right in the way that he sees fit, and that's his goal, and he's gonna press on toward it. So yeah, straight Slytherin. And, well, how could I do this? I did not have in my notes to sort Red 13, but I will, because he's important, and I like him. So yeah, let's sort Red 13. I haven't actually thought about it. I don't have any notes on it. So, but I will say that my first vibes are actually Ravenclaw. He's also on one of my top 10 lists. He's in my top 10 fictional cats. Because he is a cat. Look it up. He's a feline of some sort. So, but yeah, I just feel like he just has this, like, kind of gruff, only speaks when he feels it's necessary, and usually speaks, like, condescendingly, maybe? I don't know if that's exactly the right word. And I think that that's kind of a Ravenclaw thing. He does seem to be pretty smart. I mean, he's an animal who can talk, so gotta give him that. And he just seems kind of like over everything, but which can also be a very Slytherin thing. But I feel like it's not in a Slytherin way. I feel like it's more in a Ravenclaw way. I feel like that just being over it and having that kind of vibe can go Ravenclaw or Slytherin, and I just feel like it goes more Ravenclaw for Red 13. Also, he's a cat. Cats are very Ravenclaw animals, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are going to say they're Slytherin, but in my opinion, cats are very Ravenclaw animals. So yeah, the vibes are Slytherin. I mean Ravenclaw. Dang it! I just contradicted everything. I was not subconscious. That was not a Freudian slip. I think he's a Ravenclaw. Alright, now moving on to the last one, to the most important, to my favorite video game character of all time, our boy, Cloud. So, like, breaking up the trend of Slytherin baddies, I also think that the protagonist of this series is a Slytherin. I think Cloud is a Slytherin. Again, just like he's like super layered. He has a lot going on, and that just when I see somebody who's like just kind of complicated as a character, that just sets off Slytherin alarm bells in my brain. I said that for Fire Emblem. I sorted so many of the characters in Slytherin because that just being complicated it just feels like a Slytherin thing because I feel like they're just not very open and they hide a lot of things and it makes things complicated. So like yeah, he's very closed off. He's what's that word that new weeb word that I learned? He's a tsundere? Oh, that was not good pronunciation. But yes, he's one of those. He's closed off. He sighs a lot. He's kind of like yeah, whatever, like that kind of vibe. He's also like very awkward and quirky, just like buried under layers of sighing and emo. uh, that he has that going for him. But he's obviously like very ambitious. He was a soldier as well, in the same way as Zack. He was trying to move with the ranks. He had this goal for him. So he was a Slytherin at the start. Now it's kind of complicated because Shinra's evil and Sephiroth's bad and everything is getting really complicated. But he's still a Slytherin, just in a different way. He's obviously very skilled and very good at what he does, and but like, how do I phrase it? It's like in a Slytherin way. Like he's never trying to show off or anything. He just does the things and he's good at it, and he's chill. You know, he's never over dramatic. He's just a chill dude. He's kind of like, let me do the job, whatever, and I'll be good at it. So I think that's Slytherin. I think he's Slytherin. So yeah, that's all. Those are all the people I will be doing for now. This is a pretty decent mix. I'm realizing I didn't think about that too much when I was outlining it and everything, but yeah. This is a pretty decent mix. Still not enough Ravenclaw characters, but there never is. I guess the best representation of Ravenclaw I've seen so far in the things I've sorted has to be my hero. So maybe that's why I love that show so much. But this is still pretty good. You know, 2 Ravenclaws, we'll take it. I mean, we'll take any, honestly. But yeah. Good job, Final Fantasy VII Remake or Rebirth or Crisis Core Remake Reunion or whatever the heck else there is. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and comment. Tell me if I got something wrong. Just go ahead. Tell me your reasoning. Make sure to share with your friends and make sure to follow me on Spotify and YouTube and all of the things. So yeah, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.